Okay.
All right, we are unmuted.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Okay.
Hello, Lacey.
Hi. So we hopped in a little early. We're gonna give you guys first instructions. Lauren, you're on here, right?
Yes, Lauren Browning.
Lauren Browning's on here. So if you'll go find, is it under your name or is it Hoop Canvas Wheel?
It's my name, I believe. You just look for the one that has someone's lap.
Yeah. If you right click that, it should say pin this video. Does everyone see that?
Thumbs up, I see it, okay.
Yeah, okay. So if you pin Lauren, and then you should also be able to pin us. So it should be Lacey Leonard, I think. Pin this video too. And then hopefully you'll see both videos side by side. Does that seem right? I'm just looking at Tara for her response. And feel free to unmute yourselves because we've got people rolling in.
Lenny's on. I'm over here. You can't see me yet, but I see you.
Lauren's here. We're gonna introduce her. Dramatic.
Lenny's on. Tara's on.
Tara, did that work? No? Does it not show it an option to pin both videos?
No, I could only pin Lauren's view first, like your lap. And then when I tried to pin yours, it just took away Lauren's and took me to you.
Interesting.
I don't know how to right click on a Mac because I'm
just right click.
A noob.
Okay, press shift, click. Okay, go to the ... There you go. Pin. Yeah. And then pin someone else. Pin you. Yeah, add pin. There you go.
Did you hold shift for both?
No, I didn't do anything. That was all you. Now you can see this.
Hi, I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
So I never received my kit in the mail. So I'm just gonna sip.
So sorry that you didn't get it.
It's okay.
Where are you located?
In Westminster, Maryland.
Maryland.
Tara, did you get yours?
Yeah, I got mine like a couple days ago.
Okay.
Like,
hey, Lindsay, did you send me your address?
Yeah, I sent it on 12th.
Okay. We were kind of worried about this because there's been some weird stuff happening with the mail lately.
Is it leonard@roanoke.edu?
Yeah, so we definitely we sent it, but it never got to you. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I'm just gonna hopefully I'll take it all in, and then if it comes tomorrow, I can do it tomorrow.
Yeah, and if you don't get it, please send me an email and we'll send you one. We'll do it.
Okay. So I'm just gonna sip.
Okay, good.
Perfect.
And moral support, thanks. Okay, so was anyone else able to pin both videos?
I'm not able to. It says replace pin when I right click on you.
Oh, it might be because they have if it's not the licensed version.
Okay.
So when we tested it out, when we right click, it has an option to add a pin, but that's okay. From my understanding, if you pin the one with the lap, you'll be able to see everything going on. And then since I'll be talking throughout this, I think if you have it on speaker view, the box that shows this view right here should be showing along the top. That way y'all won't have to stare at my face the whole time.
So yes, if everyone goes on mute and pins this video, then they'll be able to see the instructions. And then when you talk, they'll also see you in the top. So that works out well. So I am going to hand it over to Lauren now. And I feel like, we've got a couple minutes, but she can introduce herself. So Me and Talia are signing off. Hi, everyone.
Thank you for coming. Oh, and this is our first one, so be kind.
All right. So
We've still got 3 minutes.
yeah, I put on my cat and wine socks just for you guys, so you don't have to stare at my little toes. I've got little cat socks. If you haven't, feel free to grab some snacks. Grab a little beverage of your choice. I see Emily. Oh, and make sure you have scissors because we're gonna go through our kit, but you're gonna need some scissors.
And pull up your chat box. Yay!
Yeah, so I think the way that we have this set up is everyone's muted upon entry. Feel free at any time to, raise a hand or come out of mute if you have questions. Don't be scared. I'll answer them to the best of my abilities. Let's see who we got. When you hover over this, does it show up with an arrow for more screens?
Where?
Nowhere. I think we're good.
So that's 416?
4, 8, 12, 16. Yeah, but I'm 2 of them.
Hi.
All right.
When I was doing these, I kept thinking, be kind, be kind.
Blockbuster.
Oh,
I didn't realize that this was with the kit. So all you lucky dogs, put this on your fridge or frame it if you want. If you just have so much fun, you can keep it forever.
Do you have a spare hoop?
I can actually use one without.
There should be a little baby one in there.
I figured you had an extra one.
The top left.
Yeah. Can I borrow 'em?
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
You doing it on your jean jacket?
I think I'm gonna go find a pair of pants real quick.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Oh my God, that's gorgeous.
Cool. Okay, my computer. Hi, Pam. It's okay if you don't have a camera. You can still feel free to unmute yourself if you have any questions. Just let us know. And yeah, we can still chat even if you don't have a camera. It's all good. And to the new people that just joined on, we've still got, it's like 1 minute until 7. So I think we're going to wait just a couple minutes, make sure everybody gets on and gets set up. Okie dokie.
This is gorgeous.
Thank you. This one's my favorite so far.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I have to figure out how to hang them. Also, for everybody that's on right now, if you're on social media, you can't really see it on my shirt, but my Instagram is @HoopCanvasWheel, all one word. I also just created a Facebook group that is public. So if you want to go on Facebook and search for Hoop Canvas Wheel, you can join the little Facebook group, and I'm posting, some pieces that I've been working on. We posted about this workshop. I'm going to be in a fiber show next week in our little Roanoke Gallery downtown. And I'll be showing some of my hoops that I've been doing in a collaboration with Lacey. So all the information for the event will be on the Facebook. And it's just a kind of fun way to interact with everybody. So social media can be fun sometimes. You doing it on bridges?
Britches.
Yeah, and if you have some, Lacey's gonna put it on britches. So if
To remind people.
oh my gosh. So I mean, if you're feeling froggy and you want to switch it up a bit, if you want to put it on a t-shirt, if you want to put it on pants, a jacket, you can do whatever makes you happy.
It's drawn out.
Hi, Loretta. It's okay. I think 2020, everything's hectic for everybody,
do it.
so
You
it's
can do
no
it.
worries whatsoever.
You can.
Tara, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you like my shirt. My friend Summer Powers made it for me just for this event. She also has an Instagram. If you need any custom shirts made, I'll just throw in that plug. Is that Annie? Maybe? Is it Christy? It is Christy. Hi. Oh, and Carrie. I see Carrie. See all kinds of people.
Do we have everyone on this? Oh, wow.
No, not yet. So for the people who have just joined, if you look through and find the frame that says Lauren Browning in the bottom left, it's my lovely lap. If you hover over that square and right click on it, you can pin the video. This will be the main focus throughout the workshop. That way you don't have to stare at me the whole time. You can see what we're doing. Yeah, I've been going through the chat box as people come up. Lindsay, I love that they're called hoops too. Because we just do a bunch of puns all the time and do the hoop, there it is.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, just let me know. If if I can get a thumbs up, if you can hear me all right. Tara can hear me, everybody can hear me. Christy, I can see your puppy. Shep, I see you. Rosa said hi, Talia.
Hi, Rosa. What? You stole my thing.
Okay. So we're about 3 minutes after. And I guess we'll get started at 5 after. Go get a micron pen out of my box.
Yes, ma'am.
And since this is our first time, we've made a handy dandy little checklist, because I don't know about y'all, but 2020 has turned my brain into mashed potatoes and I can barely keep up. So enter Zoom, test microphones and cameras. I got some thumbs up, so that's a check. Oh, you can see it. Ta-da. Make sure the video is recording. We are recording in the top left corner. I see it. Have participants pin the videos. Make sure everybody knows how to do that. If you don't, just raise your hand, let me know. And then introduce Lauren. So we've got, we'll wait 1 more minute. I know the suspense is killing everybody. Christy, you have your hand raised. Is everything good?
How do you pin the video?
Christy, if you hover over the box that has my lap in it and you click on it, there should be like a little yellow frame that shows up around it, and you can right click and it should say add pin. If the right click and add pin doesn't work, then if you click on it, there will be 3 dots in the top corner, and you can click on the 3 dots and it should allow you to pin it that way. Okay, thumbs up, awesome. Okay, so it's 5 after. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm Lauren, and if you weren't here at the very, very beginning, I'm joined by Talia and Lacey.
Hi.
They are the lovely ladies who put this all together and made everything happen. And
You will hear us giggling in the background.
the whole time, we're gonna giggle. If you don't have snacks, dear God, get you some snacks, okay? Snacks are crucial. And it's Stitch and Sip, so if you want some water, you want some soda, you want an adult beverage, it's Friday and it's been a week, so we're just gonna have a good time. Like I said, I'm Lauren. I have a BFA in studio art from JMU in painting and drawing with a minor in art history. I got introduced to fibers when I was probably like 8 or so. My grandmother taught me how to crochet and knit, and she introduced me to a sewing machine, and ever since then it's just been an interest of mine. I took a fibers class in JMU, and then she introduced like an embroidery series, and that's where I learned some basic stitches. At some point we'll have a brief intermission, and I'll go get it's called the Embroidery Bible, so it shows, you know, some really basic stitches and then some like intermediate and some advanced stitches. So if this is something you end up enjoying, you can grab, you know, an embroidery book, Bible, and it's just something that you can really kind of take off with. When the pandemic hit, I needed a way to really easily kind of sit and work on pieces that didn't require a whole lot of cleanup, so I started embroidering again. And then I think, you know, the state of the world, everybody could do with some kindness. So I thought Be Kind would be a good introductory piece for our embroidery kits. So hopefully everybody has their kit. I'm gonna go through and make sure I introduce you to all the pieces. If you don't have scissors, make sure you go grab a pair of scissors. And then, like I said, you can't see it on the shirt because it's covered up by the stand, but at Hoop Canvas Wheel is where you can see my Instagram, and I also have a Facebook group. I have an upcoming fiber show, or I'm going to be in an upcoming fiber show with some other local artists in the Roanoke Valley. And all the information is going to be posted on the Facebook. So if anybody has any questions, I think we're all caught up in the chat. If you ever have any questions, just, you can raise your hand. You can add a chat in the chat box. Fix the A. Too funny.
Very good.
And this is our first time doing this. I hope you guys enjoy it. And if everybody has a good time, maybe we can do it again at some point. But this is our little handy dandy kits for the Stitch and Sip. You can open this puppy up. It's got the little workshop guidelines. Okay, so this is our hoop and our material. We stitched everything on here so that, you know, it could be an easy guide. If you're brand new to this, this is a great way to start. And then as you progress, they have dissolvable ink markers where you can draw, and some, you know, evaporate with air, and then others evaporate with water. So those are great. And then we will have our little cards with all of our thread on it, and it has a needle as well. So I have this little rig, which you don't at all need to have, but it'll make it easier for me to try and keep everything in the frame so that everybody can see. If at any point it gets shifted and you can't see what I'm working on, just let me know. So tonight I'm going to show you some really basic stitches. I think we'll be doing 5 different ones, if I counted correctly, which you just never know. Like I said, I was an art major, so counting isn't my strong suit, but I got a little light, make sure everybody can see what's going on.
Do you want to see if everybody's good seeing? That looks great.
Can I get a thumbs up if everybody can see the hoop? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs
Oh
up.
wait, someone said no.
Ellen on her iPad. Ellen, can you see the hoop? Ellen can't see the hoop. So Ellen, you're on your iPad. A lot of the time, I've had some issues when I'm on my phone or when I'm on my iPad. I'll have to kind of swipe until I get to the screen that I'm looking for. So you might want to try swiping to see if you can find the one that has our hoop in the middle of it.
Oh, because she's still on one single one.
But the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start working on our text. Carrie Cheney's all good. Pam is good. Okay.
No, she's got it. Ellen's got it.
Ellen's
Yay!
got it. Great.
Hot dog. Sweet.
So I'm just gonna kind of cut this puppy off of here. So a lot of times I'll just kind of tuck my needle over here because there's really nothing worse than when you have a rogue needle and you end up sitting on it and finding it real quick. It's just not fun. So for the text, we're going to be using this black thread, and I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do something called the chain stitch. The chain stitch is a pretty simple introductory stitch that really kind of helps to add some depth and dimension to it. So I just kind of popped it out of this line, and I'm pulling out some thread. I usually try to do, I don't know, a little bit less than 1 arm's length, and I'll cut it. But what's really great is that we are going to split this thread, and splitting the thread is another way to add variation to your pieces. So if you can see my fingers, if you kind of, rub this a little bit, you can see where it will fray at the end, and each big thread will have 6 smaller pieces. So if you pick 3 and 3, you can kind of, you gotta be patient because it will not start to pull apart. And then this is how I split my thread. And that way it really helps, you get double the bang for your buck. And I just kind of sit the thread that I'm not using right yet on the side. And then the best part that everybody loves is threading these guys. Oh my God. I did it not up?
Yup.
So,
I'm sorry, how much do I need for?
3 pieces each, about an arm's length like you have right there. There you go.
That's a lot.
So I licked this, and then we're gonna just feed it right through our eye. Oh, first try, that almost never happens, you guys. And I pull out so that I have a little tail. And then I'm gonna show you my favorite way to knot my thread that I think is the easiest way. If you have your needle in your left hand and your thread in your right, I will kind of lay my thread over top of my needle. It's okay, it's okay. And then I'll wrap 1, 2, 3, and then you pull your needle through that little wrap.
Say what? No way.
Ta-da!
1, 2, 3.
And then you pull it through.
My hand's stuck in the scissors. Hold on.
That's awesome. So it's not a double thread. You're just having it looped over a little bit.
Right,
here
it's
and
not, I didn't double it. I'm just keeping this so that it doesn't fall out of my needle. Okay? So, could you show that again? I sure can. Hold
Yes,
on 1
please.
second.
Do you want me to get one for you? Ready?
Nope, I got it.
Got it?
I'm gonna be a good tester for you because I'm
Me too.
so
Okay.
slow.
I'll try to do it
Did you
a
cut
little bit closer to the camera too. I know it's a little bit difficult to see. So I've got my tail. So I don't know if you're right-handed, Brittany. I am. I'm holding my needle in my left hand. And I just kind of lay the thread, right on top of my needle, if you can see that. And I'm holding the thread with the same fingers that I'm using to hold the needle. And I'm just wrapping this around. I think I did it 3 times. And you can pull this tight to keep the tension. And then you grab those little loops and you just pull your needle through and keep holding on to this the whole way. And then, boop, there you go. Got your little knot at the end. Okay? So, starting off, the chain stitch can be a little bit confusing, but it's Carrie Cheney. My whole life has been a lie. Stick with me, kid. I'll get you through it. So, a stitch we're going to do later for our flowers is what I call the lazy daisy stitch. I kind of use that stitch to start my chain. So, if you want to just wait, I can do this, and if somebody needs to see it again, I can start yours.
Yes.
So I'm going to start right. We're going to back up. We're going to back pedal. Make sure that your fabric is nice and taut in your hoop. And if it's loose, you can tighten this a little bit because you want it to be kind of like a drum. And then I'm going to put it back in here.
Lauren, I have a really silly question.
Okay.
So I'm a noob. So I just got my knot. So am I pulling my needle all the way to the end so that the knot, like where is the knot going in reference to the needle?
My knot is all the way at the end.
Okay.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
See this little guy?
Yeah. Okay.
So then you have like 5.
So it's supposed to look like this. I have all of this string and then the knot at the very end.
Right, right. And again, we're not doubling it over. It's just that thread the one time. And
Right.
if the knot making doesn't work for you, you can always just do the usual where you wrap it around your fingers and then loop that puppy through and make yourself a little knot where you have a little tail at the end. Okay?
So an overhand knot will work as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were just being.
I was just getting fancy.
Okay, I would like to see.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I'm going to show you the intro to the Lazy Daisy, which we are going to then turn into the chain stitch, which I know sounds terrifying, but it's going to be okay. So I'm just putting my needle up through this. I have one hand on my hoop, and I just pull this through and make sure that my knot's at the back. What we're going to do for the Lazy Daisy is you kind of make a little hoop so you can make it mimic this loop on the bee, if you can see that. And then we're going to put our needle right back in the same exact hole, but we are not going to pull it all the way through. We want to keep our little loop. So we're going to have our little loop, and then we're going to come out. You can move your loop out of the way. You can come out just a little bit. Give it some space, and then you put your needle through this loop, and that's when you pull all the way through, and you'll have your first little chain. And then right where your string came up, you're going to put it back through that hole one more time, and this is a Lazy Daisy stitch and what I use to start off my chains. Okay, so now what I'm about to show you is the chain stitch. And this is what we're gonna do for all of the lettering the whole way through. So for those of you that got this stitch, I'm gonna show how to do the chain. I'll do a couple of those, and then if there's anybody who needs me to show the Lazy Daisy one more time, just let me know and I'll show it on Talia's, okay?
So you start with the Lazy Daisy and then you end up with the chain.
Yeah, you just do one Lazy Daisy to kind of mimic that little chain stitch, and then we're gonna do the chain the rest of the way.
Gotcha. Thank you,
Hey,
Laura.
hey, Lauren.
Yeah.
Where is your needle right now? Where should my needle and thread be? Because right now mine's on the top.
The whole shebang.
Like mine's out.
So
Do I
you-
put it back through?
Yeah, you go right back through this same hole,
Okay, got it.
and then it's underneath. And it's the Lazy Daisy. It's a little scary at first, but that's just the way that I start my chain stitch. The chain stitch, when I show you this, you're gonna be like, oh, we should just done this from the start. So for the chain stitch, you know, you want your spacing to be kind of consistent for these. So I'm just gonna kind of come up a little bit outside of this stitch, and I'll pull my thread all the way through. And then you lay this flat to your fabric, and you just slide it underneath that little stitch. Can you see this? I see some nods, okay. And you just kind of scoot, and you pull it.
You don't go back through the fabric?
Nope.
Jiminy Christmas, are you serious?
And then you go right back in the same hole.
She needs mine. I'm learning, observing.
And then, so I'm gonna move on to the next one. Just come up a little bit, pull all the way, scoot underneath this little chain,
Wow. I didn't think.
and then I go right back in where I came up.
That's why it looks so smooth. For the cursive. I'm still on Lazy Daisy. We gotta go back.
You can watch the video.
I know.
So we're looking at the side messages. Is everyone doing okay? I know you're watching Lauren, but just feel free to message or raise your hand.
Vicky, is your knot okay? I don't know if I can see Vicky.
Vicky's in the bottom right. Vicky, if you're good, give me a thumbs up. If you're not, I'll show you that. That's
Okay,
cool.
she's good.
Perfect.
Cool.
Does anybody need to see the Lazy Daisy again, just to get the chain started? Okay, I can do that. Okay. Okay, I got you guys. So
Yes.
I'm gonna just take this sucker out. If you guys are good, you can keep working on your chain stitch because we're gonna do it for all of this.
I don't know if we have another.
That's okay.
You got it? Oh, no, I lied.
Oh, you're already threaded up. I see you.
It's all right.
My cohorts are they're a little giddy this evening.
You need a lot of supplies for this.
Okay, so Lazy Daisy, I'll see if I can explain this better. So I'm gonna come up through my fabric. I'm gonna pull all the way. And this is where I'm kind of, so for the Lazy Daisy, essentially you're gonna end up making a flower. So to make the petal, you kind of just make a little baby loop to kind of mimic the bee that we have right here. And you're gonna go down in the same spot where you came up. Hold onto your loop so the loop doesn't, you're not pulling your thread all the way through, so you'll still have your little loop. You come up on the outside of the loop, a little bit away from the stitch that you made, and you loop this back over your needle. See where it just comes up through the fabric, through my thread. And then that's when you pull taut. So you have a little loop. And now it's just like Emily said, your thread is on top. So in order to get back to the bottom, you go back in that same spot where you just came up and pull all the way through. And then we're doing the chain stitch the rest of the way, where you come up, you scoot underneath your first stitch, you pull all the way through, and then you go back down the same spot you just were. Rosa, I'm glad you love that knot. It's one of my favorite things personally. I use it when I crochet, when I embroider, when I knit. That knot is one of my favorite things that I've learned. Lacey got a little overzealous. She's trying to stitch on pants and the struggle is real.
All right, y'all. The next video that's happening is going to be a video of me trying to stitch because it is entertaining. It's terrifying. Oh, God.
How's everybody doing? We doing okay on the chain stitch?
Here, I suggest these.
Talia, you gotta stop bumping in this table because you're making.
Oh no, I
they're
am
gonna
so
get,
sorry.
I'm
That's
going to get
me.
They're
seasick.
gonna get seasick. All right, I'll give Talia her hoop back.
And I'll get away from the table.
How do you prevent knotting on the opposite side of your...
So sometimes it can be tricky with the Lazy Daisy if you go back through the same hole you came up and you end up putting your needle through the knot. So watch out for that. You gotta be a little bit aware of that. And then if you go too fast, I just dropped my needle. That'll be fun to find. If you go too fast, that can cause knotting. And then as we go, I'll show you, as we move through this, we're gonna have some, the thread will twist. So you have to stop and kind of untwist it. So my needle came out, I'm just making sure I can put this through. We got a hiccup, sorry about that.
Okay, I really...
Just cut that off and start over. Really? Yep. We got plenty of thread. Okay, chain stitching. See, this is a knot because I just kind of willy-nilly pulled it through and wasn't paying attention. So you can kind of just back it up make sure everything's laying flat. I go back in, and then I'm going back down in the same spot. And we are going to do this for all of the text, except for the dot of the I. That's a different stitch that I'm going to teach you. And we'll have 2 tries.
That's great.
Oh, poor Rosa put that private, and I put her on blast.
Hey, this is Sue. So is it important that you scoop up the threads from the same side each time?
Like when you come through the fabric at the top?
Not when you come through the fabric, but then after that, when you're going under the previous stitches, does it need to always be on the same side, like the right side?
No, it doesn't. So I'll show you, I've been going on the right side, and this time I'll go through on the left. You just want to make sure that it's going nice and clean through there. And then as long as it, pulls tight and you can go straight back in the same hole, it won't change the variation of the stitch.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
This little stitch is amazing.
Little chain stitch.
Yeah.
Oh, God. No, you're on. This is PG event.
It's just that I keep getting
See, that's amazing because I always would have gone back through.
Yeah.
So that's so great that you don't
This is,
do that.
I think
and it makes
there,
it thicker too, right?
yeah, there are different variations of the chain stitch, but this is the one that I like to do. And then when we started this, we split the thread. But if you can do 2 threads, or you can do the full 6, and that really changes the weight of the line, if that makes sense. So when we go to do our, our little foliage on the side, we probably won't split the thread, just so that we can make sure that it covers up our little line that we drew.
Oh. So on the daisy chain, if you don't come up through that same hole, then you are just
Out of luck.
Yep, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
How did you do the curve?
Oh, the curve wasn't the problem, but
No. Lace. Lace is eager. Christy, I don't know if you can see it.
Sorry.
I'll try to zoom this in a little bit, see if it's easier to see. I'm just following along on the line. But if you pull it too tight, then the chain doesn't lay completely flat with the fabric like the other chains do. So if you give that top one just a little bit of slack, but I'm mainly just doing the chain stitch all the way along this line and following through. Okay. And I'll show you, I smacked into the phone. No, it was me. I'll show you when we get down here where we're gonna have this intersection. It's the same kind of stitch, but we just go through more loops, if that makes sense. And I will show you that. But for the most part, for everybody watching this video, is the hoop close enough to the phone for everybody to see what's going on? Okay, thank you. What's really cool is I just realized that the comments show up on my phone.
oh, you can
So
see
I was
them.
sitting there like squinting because I didn't grab my glasses, and now I'm like, ooh, okay, I can actually read.
That's smart.
So I'm kind of encroaching on this first spot where I started my B. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up just shy, poke my needle up, and I'm gonna loop it underneath my last stitch, just like normal. And then I'm gonna come down in the same spot
But then when I come up, I'm gonna come up down below that line. And this is gonna get crazy. You ready? We're gonna go underneath this stitch. So we're coming up, we're gonna go, I'm trying not to knock into it, y'all. Make sure everybody can see it. We're gonna go underneath here. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. I'm just going under to make everything clean. And I actually ended up looping through my thread. So make sure you catch that. I'm just undoing this little knot that's about to come up. So you can see I'm up here now because I went underneath this horizontal. I went underneath this line coming down. And now I'm gonna go right back under this horizontal. And that is when I come right back down where I started my stitch. And then I'm just gonna finish off this little post right here. Low battery. Yep.
On your phone?
Yeah, charger.
Yeah. It's not gonna.
Lauren, can you explain the intersection again?
I sure can. So there's really no right or wrong way to do this.
Is that true?
I'm trying to make sure that my phone is charging. Okay, I can't tell. We'll find out real quick. Say,
No.
not now. Trust this computer.
You're charging.
No.
Give me just a moment, Tara. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Okay. I'll finish that stitch. So I'll see if I can bring this closer to the camera. Okay, so I started my stitch right here. Can you see where I'm pointing? It's just a little bit below the horizontal. I came up just like I was starting my normal regular chain stitch. But instead of looping under something that was in the same line, I looped underneath this one. And then I pulled all the way through so that my line was nice and clean. But then just to make sure it was clean and hidden underneath this line, I scooted it underneath this as well. And then I pulled it all the way through so that it kind of tucked underneath this line to continue the curve. And then I just looped it back underneath this horizontal right here so that I would be back on this side of this stitch, and I came down through my canvas. Does that make sense, Tara?
Do the last part one more time. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Let me see if I can show you over here. You're just trying, so where you're coming up on this side, and then you're trying to come around town and staying underneath this piece and underneath this piece, but your little guy still has to get back to where it started. So you're going up underneath this one, through this guy, and then you have to come back down. If you treat it like train tracks, he's got to get back across the tracks. So you scoot down underneath to get back to the stitch where you started. So so this post is finished. So now you're gonna have to come up over here, and it'll kind of be the same kind of thing because it's you know, a perpendicular stitch where you're coming up and you're gonna go underneath this spot right here, but make sure that you're not going underneath here. You're just going underneath that one little spot to continue the chain. And I'm going back underneath so that it crosses the street and gets right back where it started. And then you go back down through your fabric. Okay? I'm gonna put this back on the stand so I don't make you guys seasick.
Hey Lauren, how often do you poke yourself with the needle?
At least 4 times per sitting.
Okay, good. I'm just on track.
So when you, can I show the back? Here's the back. It's a mess.
Look at the front of mine.
Looking good.
It's
So if you don't, hiccup and, tie yourself into a knot, it's basically going to look like a pretty simple chain. I call this, the back stitch or the running stitch. Typically it's a pretty clean kind of chain.
Can I ask a question?
You can ask a question.
So when I'm doing the chain stitch, when I'm coming back up, I'm trying to come out just a tad bit further, right? But when I'm coming back down after I loop through, I'm trying to go through like the same hole.
The same exact stitch.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you.
So you come up.
And then you go straight back down. And that's why it looks so clean.
Yeah, you come up.
Gotcha.
And this is where, switching up what side you go through is helpful, because I'm just going to scoot underneath this little stitch right here. I'm pulling through and I'm going right back down in the same spot. So we're basically just making a loop. But if you don't catch that other thread, then you're just going to end up pulling your loop through.
And this goes fairly quickly.
Yeah. If you get stuck like this, just take a moment, pull it out, you're all set.
I am literally sewing my pocket shut.
We're gonna have to show. So at the end of this, if everybody's okay, if you have video capabilities and you wouldn't mind turning on your video, I would really love to try and do a group photo with everybody holding up their finished hoop. And if you're not comfortable with that, I understand too. But there are some friends and family in this, and you don't have a choice. You have to do it. Okay. So same thing. We've got that kind of curve that we were talking about earlier. I'm just following along with my line, coming up through my fabric. I'm scooting underneath that chain, pulling through, and then going back in the same spot. And then I'll do one more, and I'll show you how to pick up on the other side of this. Don't forget to stop and grab some snacks, grab a little sip of your beverage.
What do you do if your hoop gets kind of loose?
If your hoop gets loose, I always, I can take a pause, tuck in your needle on the side, and I'll just kind of go all the way around and make sure everything's stretched. And then you can always tighten it at the very top. It has your little screw, and you can just tighten that sucker to make sure that it's tight enough for you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I finished my B, and now I need to come where this loop starts to connect the cursive E. So it's kind of similar where we started right here on the hump. So we're just going to come out a little bit on the line. We'll come up through our thread, through our fabric, and we're going to scoot underneath a stitch, pull through, and then we'll see. This one's really close to the end, so I might just come through on the very same stitch. I just looped it through one time, and now I'm going to go back in, and we'll see how that looks. Now, Christy, this is the same thing that I'm saying. If you pull it too hard, then it's going to be like an up and down line instead of a kind of flat stitch. So I'm just going to kind of give it like a little bit of a gesture, and it gives a little indication of a chain, okay? And then you just pick up and continue the chain stitch. Now, is there anybody who absolutely doesn't like the chain stitch whatsoever and wants me to show you the easiest way to stitch this lettering? Anybody? Because I like the chain stitch. I'm a little bit of a...
Yeah, I think that's like everyone's-
Everybody's stitching away. We must be rolling, booting and scooting. What's the best way to tie off the thread at the end of the E? I will show you. Just let me. You're fast. Dang. I've been talking too much. Is what it is. Let me get there, and I will show you how I do it. So, for the professional, embroidery people, which I do not consider myself to be, doing freestyle. I love freestyle.
Yeah, me too.
Freestyle. Oh my god.
The professional embroidery artists, they don't ever do knots ever, and it must be some form of wizardry because I pull my thread through every single time. Some people they want the back of their pieces to be really nice and clean. I personally hang them up on the wall and nobody ever sees the back of my pieces, so you can see, I don't know if you saw when I was pulling through, that one got a little bit twisted up. So if your thread is getting twisted, you can hang it from your hoop and wait for it to stop spinning and then just pick it back up and keep going. I'm gonna finish this E and I will show you how to tie off. Mom used to do it perfect. My mom used to do cross stitch. She was a really big fan of cross stitch, and I couldn't, focusing on the patterns and being restricted to only one stitch, it never really grabbed my interest. But when you're doing embroidery and you can switch up the stitches and the variation of the thread and stuff like that, I feel like it's much more more like drawing, or more almost painterly in a way. So I've really kind of enjoyed embroidery.
Painterly, that's a good description of it.
I'm going with hieroglyphics.
I see you.
What happens if you get a knot like partway through? Like it happens and now what?
Oh, in your thread? You want to hand it to me?
Yeah. Use this as an
All right,
example.
I'll scoot this back.
Oh.
So these are Lacey's pants. She's wearing pants. This is just like a side pair of pants. Let's see what you got going on here. Oh,
that would be embarrassing.
A mess. A mess is what Lacey has. All right, let's just tuck that.
I didn't even do anything.
Right. No need to get snippy. Add my little light. Bring this over because I can't see what's going on.
It's really small. It hurts my eyes and I don't want glasses.
So sometimes, this is what I'm saying, if your thread gets twisted up, or if you're going too fast or anything like that, this happens to me all the time, and usually it results in a whole lot of cussing. But sometimes if you're really patient, which I am not, you can find where the knot is starting and use your needle as a friend to help you out. If not, which I don't think we can. So if you get something like this, where you're just like, you're really stuck and you can't get this knot, and no matter what you do, it doesn't pull through, which, it won't pull through. So we're gonna have to perform surgery. No, I'm kidding. So I will kind of pinch it, grab my scissors, and cut where you get rid of that. So this is the thread that hasn't been used yet. You can save that. You have your needle. I have your needle. I might not anymore. I just had it. It's right here.
Panicking.
So also this is, and I don't know if it's because Lacey got a little ambitious on us, but you don't want your canvas or your material to be this loose. The tension is really, it really does kind of try to help you as you're getting your thread through. So I loosened up the hoop a little bit. I scooped everything out. And you tighten your hoop. And that's where you can pull.
That's probably why. Yeah, those pants are stretchy.
Yeah.
They had to be.
Yeah. Oh, no, stop. Okay. Tighten this up. So now you're like, well, what do you do, Lauren? I'm going to pull this through back to the other end. Maybe. Okay. And then, Catherine, this is one way to do a knot that some people do. This is not how I typically do it. Clip this light on so hopefully you can see better. Or drop it everywhere.
Got it.
So what I will try to do is kind of split these threads, and I will just do like a really kind of simple knot and pull it tight. And then I'll do it one more time just to kind of make sure that it sticks. And then now that's secure, and Lacey can re-knot her thread and start back up.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just a simple overhand knot.
Yeah, it was just a really simple, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then Catherine, I'm getting ready to finish this E, and I'll show you how I typically finish knots at the end.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby. I see what you did there.
Just be threading. I'm excited about this.
I was too, until the back looked better than front.
Don't. You got to have some grace. You've never done this before, right? It's just an introduction.
True.
True,
This is
that.
practice round.
But I'm
This is
excited
practice.
because I love it.
Be kind.
So
Just be kind to yourself.
Yes.
Tara, this is kind of the same thing where, you know, I have this intersection where I'm going to have to loop through. So I push this one back a little bit to see if I could show it better. So I'm just coming up on this side of the post. Ouch. Right? I'm pulling my thread. I'm going to go underneath this part, the horizontal part. I'm going to loop through this stitch where I left off. Scoot it under that. But then I still have to get back to where I first started. So now I'm going to scoot underneath that horizontal piece. And now that my thread's on the same side where I started, I go back into the hole where I came up. And that's your little baby loop, and then you just keep going. All right, and then I've got a couple more and we'll finish the B. And then we're gonna kick it into overdrive on kind.
It's the same thing on kind, right?
It's the same stitch, yeah.
If you're hurting for time, we can do the other parts and come back to kind.
Yeah, because I think, you know, we got some people freestyling, we got some people who have an introduction. And sometimes, you know, even when I'm doing this on my own, you know, sometimes things will seem monotonous to me and I'll get kind of bored with it. So yeah, we can switch it up. So what's cool about this is I can flip this stand around and you can see, I mean, you can see where it's not perfect. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's going to see this. Catherine, this is how I usually finish off. I keep everything connected and I create a little loop and I put my needle through the loop. So I've got, you know, my circle, and then I'll just poke the very tip of the needle right in where I came up, and I leave that there, and that's where I start to pull this thread until I have a little tight knot right there. And then I can come in and trim that. Okay? Then I can flip this back over. Yay, it looks good. Yeah.
Nice.
I see a little kitty. I love kitty. Little kitty tails in the Zoom call. That happens to me all the time.
Lauren, can you show the knot one more time, please?
Sure can. It looks good. Your back looks good. I don't know what's going on here.
I know.
Okay.
You're good. Sorry.
It's okay.
It did go.
So if you think about it like without the needle, I guess you would call it an overhand, right? Lacey, is that what you call it? Where you're just kind of making a loop and you're putting your thread through so that you have, you know, you have your little circle and your thread went through it. But I just use my needle to kind of cheat. And I put my needle right where I need the knot to be. And I kind of hold the thread flush to the piece and pull so that my knot is right where my needle was. Is that better, Emily? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
So getting the stitch even is just practice.
It takes a lot of time and practice. But, you know, this isn't the most even stitch I've ever done, but if somebody were to come up to me and say, Lauren, your stitches aren't even, I'll be like, did you read the message on this? Instead of. Sorry.
Sassy.
So, okay, so since, you know, like Lacey said, you know, we've got some time. I know some people are ahead of the game, and since I did a brief introduction of the Lazy Daisy, I'm going to show you the next stitch, which is just the Lazy Daisy for these flowers, and then I'll come back to the kind at the end, okay? So for the Lazy Daisy, oh, Lenny's got Charlie. I'm going to be distracted. Sweet little baby girl.
Oh, no, it's a baby.
Oh, no, it's a baby.
Okay. All right, flowers. That's what I was going to do. Okay, flowers. So I'm grabbing this little pink color for my flowers. I'll just take it all off. I took all of my pink. Okay. And same thing, I'm going to come up here, count my threads, and I'm going to split it in half. So 3 on one side, 3 on the other. And what I like to do, kind of makes it a little bit easier, is sometimes, you know, when you split it, you can sort of untwist as you go, and it makes it a little bit simpler and less likely to knot.
You need to split it all the way through.
All the way, the whole shebang. Okay. I lost Carrie Cheney. Carrie turned off her video. She said bye. Calling her out. She's family. I'm allowed to do that.
She bought you a snack.
I hope she is. I love snack time. Okay, same thing. I'm gonna lick the bottom of my thread.
Saliva is essential.
Mm-hmm. And then thread it through just a little bit so I have a tail. It's, if you have a friend, it's a lot easier.
Thank you. I'm also a noob.
That's okay.
Tangle queen over here.
Tangle queen. do.
Hi.
Y'all can't see it. Well, I don't know if you can see what's going on, but.
Okay.
All right.
Sweet.
Grab a little snacky snack M&M.
Lost my hoop.
You lost your hoop. Where'd it go?
I have no idea. Oh, it's in my lap.
Oh,
That's
wow.
bad.
All right, here's that knot again, but if you don't like the fancy knot, you can always just do a little overhand, grab onto it, loop this sucker around, pinch it, and then I'm pulling through, holding it the whole time until we get to the end, and voila, little baby knot.
See, I still
Okay, so if you hated Lazy Daisy at the beginning, get ready.
Oh no.
It's going to be a whole bunch of these loops. So we're going to start in the middle. So basically, you're going to come up in the middle. You're going to start every stitch in the middle. You're going to end every stitch in the middle, and then you're just going to kind of cap it to make sure it stays in place, okay? So I'm pulling my thread all the way through, make a little baby loop, coming back through the same spot. You are not pulling all the way through because you want to have a loop, right? So I've got my finger in my little loop. If it makes it easier for you to remember, you can hold on to your loop. When I first started out, I kept it looped. And I can just pull it over here to the side, and I'm going to come up to the top of this little drawing right here. But you put your loop, you put your needle through your loop, okay?
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then you pull. And then you have a little flower petal.
No, that's awesome.
And then you want to make sure you start get back underneath. So you put it in at the very top.
At the top.
And then that holds your little petal in place.
That is so cool.
So I'll do it again. You're coming up in the middle. Pull all the way through. You're making a little loop.
So cool.
Oh no.
I've got my loop. Come into the post. Put your needle up through this little post right here. Through the loop. You pull, and then you go right back down through the post. And now you've got two little petals.
That is so cool.
Lazy Daisy is one of my favorites.
I think that it's easier for me because now I'm making a petal.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so it's like visual.
How come that looks so?
Come up through the middle.
I'm on the wrong one.
Are you in the pinwheel? Come down through the same one. You hold on to your little loop. Got your post right here. Go through your little loop. You pull. And I have run into a little knot back here. So I'm just taking a little pause. Try to undo this little knot.
This is awesome.
This is the difficult part when you get a knot in your string. And you have to figure out how long you're going to fuss with it before you just
give in.
chop it in half. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Did you
Okay,
get it?
I got it. We're good. We survived, y'all. Okay.
Nice.
Petal is intact. Go back down. Here's my third petal. Everybody is furiously stitching away. Oh, too funny. Christy, you have your hand raised. Is everything good?
My flowers are organic.
Well, that's the great thing about flowers is that,
It can be organic.
yeah, they all
I
look
know, it's
different.
awesome.
So you just have 5, right? Like a starfish?
5 petals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
For this drawing, but I mean, when you're doing it on your own, you can have as many as you want.
Freestyle with Melanie. That's our next one. Melanie, you're hosting our next one.
The next freestyle embroidery.
Freestyle embroidery. She says thumbs up. Awesome.
And then here's my last petal. I'm holding on to my loop. I'm coming up right here. And then, ooh, ta-da.
Ooh, it helps if I go real on.
So this flower's finished, and I flip it over. Same thing, I'm just making my little loop for a knot. And I put my needle back in the spot and pull it So I got a question, will this ink wash out? This ink will not wash out. We drew this on with Micron so that it would hold up in the mail and being delivered. But they do make.
Yeah, because graphite smudges.
Yes. Yeah. I've tried charcoal before. I have tried pencils and stuff like that. The pens seem to hold up the best. That's why we're using these threads when we do the green. In order to make sure that we cover up this ink, we probably will not split the thread. Okay. So I knotted off this flower. I'm gonna tie myself a little knot on the end of my thread. And I'm gonna move over to the other flower. Melanie said, Lacey, I want your back pocket to read behind.
You got it. I'm changing it now. There's still time. There's still time. Oh, maybe it could say be kind to my behind. Like,
no. Both pockets?
Both pockets
Someone's
are going to be sewed shut.
Reading glasses.
Where's my phone going to go? These are real stitching problems.
In your purse.
Hopefully not in my back pocket. Behind.
All right, so I've moved over to my other flower. Coming up. Making myself a little loop. You doing your lazy daisy? Look.
I'm all about that.
So you just came up. You need to make yourself a little loop.
Yeah.
Go back down the
Go
same
back
hole.
down in the same hole.
That's the problem is.
Use the sharp end of the needle.
Yep.
The pointy end.
The jeans though, they're stretchy and there's so many different holes, like it won't go back through the same one. I'm not.
Excuses.
I'm not kidding.
All right. Well,
I'm a beginner and this is not a beginner task.
oh, well, okay. So for all of our participants on the line, if you feel like I have
Oh, look at you.
set you up for failure, I'm very sorry.
No. It's the jeans. It's not you. I think you guys are having better luck with your canvas.
It's
Everyone else seems to be doing just fine. Let's see.
It's the jeans. Nobody else is sewing on jeans.
Not that we know of.
That's right. Oh
no, it's
no.
crazy.
So stop what you're doing and watch me do one, please.
Okay. Yes.
Because you're listening, but I need you to watch.
Okay.
Okay. You come up in the middle. Give yourself a little bit of a bigger hoop. Give yourself some grace, some wiggle room. Okay. Hold on to your thread. Go back through the same spot. You've got your post drawn on.
Right.
So come up through your loop.
All right. Now what? This is the
Okay. So now you have to hold the end of your petal down to the fabric. So you just come back down at the post.
Okay. Yeah. That's the part I was messing up. It just looks messy. It's not right.
Okay.
That one might be okay.
Here's my last petal. And then I'm going to flip it over and knot it.
It is. I'd like to see somebody else try.
like, that's all.
I think it looks cute.
It looks so
Thank you.
cute.
I love these flowers. These are awesome.
See, I mean, mine,
Super excited about these.
the back never looks pretty on mine, y'all. I'll just be honest. She's not perfect.
But dang on, she's talented.
Mhm.
I have fun with it. Nothing else.
Yes.
Is everyone having fun? Can we get a thumbs up for
Can we get a
fun?
thumbs up for everybody doing
Yay!
Thank you. Thank you.
We needed that moral support over here.
Two people are struggling. And
Yeah, I'm glad y'all are having fun because Lacey's about to throw her pants across the room.
Just don't understand what.
Okay, I can see everybody working on their stitches, but if I can just get you to pause and take a break, I'm gonna show you this middle flower right here, which is the blue, and I'm gonna show you. It's called the some people call it the pinwheel stitch. Some people call it pinwheel roses. So it's this right here, and I'm just going to show you, because building this up, it takes a minute, and it's the same thing. So if everybody will pause and watch me start this, then you'll be able to finish it at your own pace, okay? So
Sorry.
they're stabbing themselves over here. I'm just gonna take a quick little sip of my drink real quick.
Yeah. Do that while I finish up this. Oh no.
That's my other question is, who thought of a glass of wine? This was a good idea. A lot of small thread and needle.
Okay. So
It's Friday.
for our
It's
pinwheel,
Friday.
it is Friday.
Okay, good.
Friday, whoop whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Happy weekend, everybody. Oh my God, I love my flowers.
You love
I
flowers?
love my flowers. I
Like
got,
little pink ones.
they're super cute.
So don't take all of your blue thread. I'm gonna leave some of this behind, because with the pinwheel, if you get hung up and it knots, it can be a mess. So same thing with my other two colors. I'm gonna come to the end of this, and I'm gonna split it in half. We're gonna have 3 on each side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Easy now. And this yarn, how it changes colors, they call that variegated thread, and they add a lot of kind of pop and, you know, a little change up for your pieces. A little zhuzh, yeah, a little razzle dazzle. So, okay, I got my blue split. Same thing, I'm gonna thread my needle. Little tail, come to the end. I'm gonna do my knot. And then we're essentially going to outline the center pieces for this. So we come up in the center, and we're gonna go all the way to the end of this circle, okay? And we're just doing a really simple straight stitch. And then I'm gonna come up over here on the circle and go back down in the center. So I'm just mimicking the drawing, and we're gonna create this little little star shape that we will then use for our pinwheel stitch. Oh, hiccup, excuse me.
Do you need some water, sweets?
No, I'm fine,
Did you
thank you.
split it?
I split it.
See, we're here.
Y'all aren't really listening to me.
Is anyone else behind? Do you
No.
need more to read?
No, because I asked them all to stop and watch me do this, and they're all listening because they're
We are such bad students. I am so sorry.
Somebody's trying to say something.
Somebody is. Maybe it was an accident. Maybe they're just laughing at us.
Probably.
Okay, so
Shoot.
I really love the pinwheel stitch. I think it's a lot of fun, but you have to be patient with it, okay?
Oh, shoot.
I know, right? So I've got my line, my posts made, okay? So I'm gonna come up right beside the center stitch, not through the center stitch, but right beside it, okay? I'm gonna pull my thread all the way, and then everything else that we're doing on this stitch is on top of the fabric, okay? So this is where your little pattern comes through, and you're gonna have to talk out loud to yourself, and it will get through it, okay? So everything's gonna be on top, and I'm gonna go over this first post, and then I'm gonna scoop my needle underneath my second post, okay? And you're gonna continue with the over, under, all the way until you fill in this circle, okay? So I went over this first one, under this second one. I'm going over this guy right here and under this one. Okay, and you pull your thread all the way through. Now you don't want to pull this too tight because you want your flower to have some fluff to it, okay? So if you can see, it's got some depth to it. You know, it's not completely flat on the fabric like the flower and the foliage is. This guy pops up a little bit, okay? So don't pull it too tight. But the whole way around, you're just going, I'm going over this one, under this guy, I'm going over this guy, under this guy, this little post.
From the center. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you come up, you're not coming up straight through the center, just right beside the center.
Gotcha. So over, under.
But everything is staying on top. You're not putting your needle back through the thread.
Okay.
Under, over, go under here.
Oh, cool.
And then this will build out that little form.
Oh, that's very cool. Okay, so under.
And I have to do this the whole time. Talk to myself over, under, over, under, over, under.
So this is good to watch a series that you've already watched a few times.
Oh yeah.
In front of the boob tube.
Watch a lot of Friends, The Office, How I Met Your Mother, Hairspray musical. If you know, you know.
If you don't know, now you know.
If you don't know, now you know. So
This
under,
is so
over,
cool.
under.
I like this.
Yes. So another cool thing, you know, if you get a little advanced later on, some people will make these pinwheels, but they will draw 2 circles. They will draw a bigger outer circle and then a circle on the inside. And then as long as you have an uneven amount of posts, you can do your weaving and it'll be fine. And then they come in and they fill in the center with a different color. So maybe we'll do that, you know, for another one. We'll see.
Lauren, how did you come up with this design?
How did I come up with this design? Fortune cookies? No. You know, I feel like the world's a little bit crazy and everybody, you know, feels a little disconnected at times from one another. So I thought, you know, a simple phrase that we needed, and then something that I just try to focus on every day is being kind to one another. Flowers are a big deal in my family and my life. They're a recurring motif. And they've always been something that brings me joy and happiness. So I thought, you know, add some flowers. And then a lot of the embroidery artists that I follow on Instagram, they add like a similar kind of shape, like a wreath or something, to create a border for their pieces. So I kind of took that inspiration and put a little twist on it using this stitch that I found in my embroidery book.
Is everybody doing okay with this pinwheel? I'm enjoying it. We're all good. Sweet.
A quick question.
Yep.
For your pinwheels, do you have to have an odd number of stitches in order for it to make it work?
Yes, in order for it to have the over and under and not for it to, you know, make the shape correctly, it has to be uneven. So I've done some pinwheels that have 7 spokes and I've done some that have 9. But it just has to be an uneven number.
Oh my gosh, how therapeutic.
Yeah.
Can you get?
Under,
Y'all go, where's Talia?
She's doing pinwheels.
She's doing pinwheels.
over, under. I have to say it.
I have to say it too. It's okay.
Under.
Oh my gosh.
What if your pinwheel looks like a knot? Oh, you said you had to give it some space.
Are you pulling it too tight?
I am pulling mine
You
too.
know I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unclench your jaw. Relax your shoulders.
This is a metaphor for my life,
Yeah.
this pinwheel.
Take it easy. Take about 25% off.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
Okay, yeah. I'm glad you said something, Lacey, because that's exactly. But I guess the good result is that it's nice and tight, so there's a good
Good shape.
center. Yeah, on this. Might be using all my thread too. Oops.
Well, that's the good thing about splitting it, is that it gives you a little bit of extra
More
real estate.
space.
Tara, I see those brows furrowed. How you doing, baby girl?
I'm still on my flowers.
That's fine. That's fine. It's no rush whatsoever.
And this video is recorded and it's coming back out to all of you, so
Yes.
you'll be able to rewatch it and catch everything you missed.
But not hold us to anything that we said in between.
Yeah. Minus all of my struggles. Perfect. Did you get, so call it corrugated? It's not corrugated. It's
Variegated.
variegated. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So if you end up enjoying this as much as I hope you do, they sell thread
at Walmart. They sell it at Joann's. They sell it at Michael's. They sell it on Amazon. And you can start with just a few different thread colors, and I think they're like 30 cents a piece. And then, you know, you can, so if you want to do something like this, but different colors, different designs, different words, basically I'm just trying to give you some introductory stitches to help you think of, you know, different ways to do things.
Hey, Lauren. It's
Hey.
Carrie. Hey. How do you do this with cats?
It's really hard, actually. I usually have to wait until they're sleeping or they're far away from me, can't sit near me. I can't tell you how many times I've been stitching and then my cat will grab my thread and run away with it. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
Misty, though.
I see Misty. Lacey,
The other ones didn't do so well.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Misty that she's showing is Winnie and Rue's sister.
Oh, sweet baby. Oh my god.
Mimi.
So I see the
But yes, this woke her up right away.
Yeah, it must be a family thing because Rue will not leave me alone when I do it. So
Rue ate my spider plant today.
no, don't do that.
You went chomp chomp.
Everybody doing okay with their pinwheel?
Hey Lauren, I have a question.
Okay.
It's Lindsay.
Hey.
So say I wanted to like make my own fun circle.
Right.
Like if I get like the fabric, do I like draw my own design on it like with a pencil, or like how would I do that?
Yeah. So, you know, Lindsay, for starting out, we used, I just wiped my makeup on this. We used something called a micron pen with these. I've seen people use like ballpoint pens, you know, like the big pens. I've done it with pencils before. They do make markers that, you know, evaporate in the air. Just starting out, kind of testing it, I would draw on it, me personally. Just do a light thin line so that way when you go to stitch over it, you're covering it with the thread.
So with what Lauren gave us her design, and we used a light box, and so we put a light box, so a light underneath it, put the piece of paper, and then we traced it. But you can do it on a window that has light coming in, so you can take any type of like line design or anything and put it on your window and put the piece of fabric up against it and trace
it. Yeah.
And so that's a good way to transfer an image onto fabric or even paper.
And we did these with fine tip Sharpies, actually.
Oh, okay.
Those little fine tip Sharpies work nicely.
Do they have like templates? Like say I'm not a creative person and don't know what I want to
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you can find a lot of people online sell, they call them patterns, and you can download their patterns. Some of them are free, some of them you pay for. And you know, you can, yeah, I mean, I can draw you one if you want to do one for Charlie and have her date of birth. I can draw you one and send it to you, and you can print it out. But yeah, if you look up like embroidery patterns or something like that online, you should be able to find all kinds of stuff. Tara, yes, I did split my blue thread in half. I did not use the whole string because it can get a little bit cumbersome with the pinwheel. And make sure when you're doing your weaving, you're not pulling too tight, or it will kind of start to pucker underneath itself. So if you can see, my posts weren't necessarily centered, so I'm kind of at the end of this guy, but I've still got some piece over here. So if you adjust how tight you pull, I got to go over this guy and under here, so I can kind of make up that extra space.
So definitely practice is consistency, like helps you with that consistency.
Oh yeah.
Practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
As long as it's fun.
This is. I'm just gonna make pinwheels and little
Oh, yeah.
daisy chains.
Oh yeah.
Super sweet.
Oh my goodness. So cute.
So Ellen's iPad, you can also buy fabric markers.
Yeah.
Wash out.
No wash
Thanks,
out.
Ellen.
Over under.
Hey, from the iron. Sweet.
And then this is where I'm just trying to fluff it a little bit. Under. It does get a little bit more difficult as you get towards the end. But as long as you're not pulling too hard, you can still get in there.
How do you see it? That's what I'm having trouble with.
You have to kind of get eye level with it and
Yeah.
make sure that you're underneath your thread.
When do you decide to stop?
And when you can't see that circle anymore.
Or when it becomes sculptural.
When it starts floating off the
When
fabric?
it's floating off the fabric. Actually, it's not too.
And Charlie's
pretty
going to be the
awesome.
hoop canvas wheel mascot, Lindsay. She's so cute.
She's literally just staring.
Can I put a plug in, Lauren?
Oh, go for it.
All right, here's a little plug. So after this workshop, since this is our first virtual workshop, I am going to be sending you a link to a little survey, a little feedback survey. And I would very much appreciate, all of us, Talia and Lauren, would very much appreciate any feedback that you have so that we can make these better, because we don't know when we'll be able to offer in-person workshops again, and we just want to make sure that we're still serving our community in this way. So keep your eyes peeled for that. It's coming out on Monday.
Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome.
That's my flip.
Thank you.
And yeah, I've been embroidering for a little while, but this is my very first workshop, like virtual workshop. So it will help me tremendously.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone joined. Lauren did a workshop for us last year, which was a paint night workshop, which was very popular. And so we're excited that she's agreed to do this, dive into this with us again. And yeah, so we're very excited. Except
And then also, I know Christy and Melanie. Okay, Christy and Carrie, y'all make sure you're on the Facebook group, because there may or may not be something in the works for ceramics.
Yay.
We'll see. We'll see.
yeah, ceramics would
We'll
be
see.
great.
Because I was teaching ceramics through Salem Parks and Rec, and when COVID hit, we couldn't have our class anymore, and Carrie and Christy used to take ceramics with me. So
Awesome.
if any of you have any interest in learning ceramics, make sure you're following me on Instagram or on the Hoop Canvas Wheel Facebook group for some additional information coming out.
She cut her thread too short.
What is Talavera pots? I don't even know.
I don't either, but someone cut
Oh,
theirs.
If you cut your thread too short, that's okay. You can just knot it off on the back and then come up a little bit underneath your pinwheel and continue the weaving until you finish it. So I'll show you real quick. I think I've just got, one more little spot where I want to finish off my pinwheel. And then I am going to take this and I'm going to tuck it underneath. And I just kind of pull my thread so that it lays and stays with the shape. And then I'm going to flip this over, drop my needle on the ground again.
Okay.
Thank you. Do my little knot, and then done. I'm gonna wait to start the pinwheel till we're done so I don't miss anything else. Okay, I see you, Tata. Here you go. All right.
She's with the weapon.
Finish this off. So we've got 30 more minutes.
Wow, that's awesome.
So should we do
We're gonna.
the
I'm gonna
greeneries?
show. Yeah, I'm gonna show this little foliage and then finish up on the kind.
I had to destroy my pinwheel.
That's okay. It happens.
But I loved it.
There's
I'm gonna
extra.
do it again.
There's extra bread. Yeah.
There it is, look.
I'm gonna step out for just a second. I'll be right back. Just taking a breather.
Yeah, if everyone else wants to take a breather, Lauren's gonna do the greenery next. And as Lacey said, I think Lauren said it as well, is there will be a video of this that you can go back. If you can't get to kind or anything else or your pinwheel before we end, you'll be able to go back and watch your video at some point, so.
Yes, insert small commercial break here. Oh, let's put a plug in. All right, wait, sorry, Lauren's back, but quick plug. Our Curator Off Duty, if you know anything about our Curator Off Duty exhibition, this is part of that programming. So Curator Off Duty is our newest community project, and it was scheduled for 2022, but we're pushing it back so that you all have more time to submit. And for that exhibition, you can submit up to 3 works if you're an artist in the state of Virginia. And as long as it's under 12 by 12 by 12, it's in. You can submit 3 pieces. That's the only curatorial criteria, is it's gotta fit within 12 by 12 by 12. So if these techniques inspire you and you end up making work from it, we highly recommend submitting a piece to that show.
Most definitely. And you can submit up to 3 works individually, but we also really support collaboration work. So if you collaborate with someone else, you can enter up to 3 pieces. So here's a good example of a collaboration.
Oh
yeah.
Oh.
So Lacey did these drawings.
Hold it the right way.
Thanks.
So Lacey did these drawings and Lauren did which are beautiful, did the embroidery work. There's one here, show them the gold one. Look at that one. That is so awesome. So this would be, they could enter these separately for 3 different works because it's a collaboration. So we definitely would like for people to kind of work together as well. So again, keep your eyes out. It's TBA, to be announced when we do it, but we're going to give some people a couple of years.
I'll add the link to this chat.
Yeah,
Thanks.
sounds good.
There's your commercial.
Okay, there, yeah.
You're back.
Yeah. Public service announcement. PSA.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Lauren, do you need any water or anything?
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
Good?
Yep. When you send the video recording, you can send the link for the Curator Off Duty too, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
It should have been in there already, but it's just another plug.
Okay, a little snacky break.
Are these Easter M&Ms?
No, Halloween colors. You all decide at home. Are these Halloween colors or Easter?
I'm going with Easter. This should be purple.
That purple needs to be more like Black Sabbath for me, but.
Sorry. For anyone questioning, I literally just bought those yesterday at Sam's. So.
Sorry. Sorry.
But they're expired, but we love them.
M&M's never expire.
Oh no. Okay. Oh man. Patricia, I'm glad you think this is fun. I'm having a bunch of fun too. I'm glad it's not just me. Okay, so
Touching your foot, I'm so sorry.
it's okay. I put socks on. It's okay.
I keep moving the table.
Okay, I'm sorry. So very similarly to me introducing the Pinwheel Stitch, I would like for everybody to pause and watch me show you this stitch. It's called the closed fly stitch. I don't know why it's named that, but that's what they call it. I think it's really fun. And I'll adjust this so everybody can see. So with my green thread, I did not separate it.
Solid?
Yep.
Got it.
I didn't split it up, nothing. I
cut it in half from my lovely.
Yes, I have some left over so I can use this for the other side if I need to. So it's my full thread. So you'll see when we get started using this how big the contrast is going to be from this full thread to this little flower that we split in half, okay? So I've already threaded my needle and I knotted it at the end, okay? I'm going to start on this left-hand side. You can start whichever side's easier for you, but I'm going to start at the very most top. And I'm just going to come up at the very middle part, pull my thread all the way through, and then where this V comes, I'm going to go down in the V right there. Okay, so that's the little top post for our foliage. Now this is the part I think that gets fun. So you come over here on the left-hand side of the V, come up at the top, pull your thread all the way, and then I'm going to take my finger and kind of hook this down, and I'm going to come over on the right-hand side.
No way.
Go down. And then, similarly to your lazy daisy, you're holding on to your loop. We're going to come in right where we went down in the center. Okay? And then we're going to pull this so that it holds on to our little V shape.
That is so awesome.
Of course.
Sorry.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
So I'll do it again. We're going to go down in the center, pull it all the way through, okay? Come up on the left-hand side, and then we're going to hold on to our thread, come over to the right, go down. And similarly to earlier, I don't think it matters if you come up on the right or if you come up on the left. I don't think it's going to change it at all. But you're going to come right back up in the center where that stitch left off, and you're going to pull, and there you go.
That is so cool.
And you just follow that little line the whole way.
Brilliant.
Oh no.
What?
Well, what happens if? No. It's fine. Yep.
So one thing to keep an eye out for, okay? When you come up in the center, you have to watch where you're coming, because if you come up through your thread, it'll kind of get caught up. So you want to make sure you're coming up through the hole and you're not coming up through this thread, okay?
She did it. There's so many things.
Does that make sense to everybody?
It does, but hang on. Jacob's threading my needle.
Hi, Jacob.
Hi.
We all need an assistant.
He's such a good
It
sport.
all at once.
Well, you have to lick it.
Hello.
Don't-
No?
Sweet Jacob.
No?
Like, I don't want to lick this.
I love that you can pull it down to make the shape rather than feeling like you have to thread each thing to make it that shape.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like seaweed.
Catherine, yes. So the names of the stitches, I'll start at the beginning. We started off our B with it's like one petal of the lazy daisy stitch. And then for the rest of the lettering, we did the chain stitch. These little pink flowers down here, these are the lazy daisies. So if you look up lazy daisy stitch, this is usually what you'll end up seeing online. This little blue guy in the center is, I call it the pinwheel stitch. Some people call them pinwheel roses. Some people call them just embroidery roses. And then this one we're doing right now, they call it the closed fly stitch, F-L-Y. And I don't know why they call it the closed fly, but I'm not gonna lie, they call it the closed fly.
You tell us.
Oh shoot.
Okay. You lost your needle? I'll find it later.
Oh, it's really gone.
I'm wondering if it's stuck to me.
No, I heard it bounce. I heard it bounce, so maybe it floated.
You can buy everybody magnets.
And then we do have one more stitch that I'm going to show you for the dot of the eye in the kind. Some people really, really hate this stitch. It's called the French knot. It can take a lot of practice, a lot of patience, but it's just another one of those stitches that are really familiar in the embroidery community, and they come up often, and it adds, you know, some variation to your piece. It is a little tricky, and it does take some practice. So I'll show you on mine, and then I'll show you on Talia's as well as soon as I finish this.
Or should I clean up before I hand it over
No,
to
no,
you?
no, you're fine.
Or what
It's going to be
thread do you need?
the black thread.
Okay, I'll get that ready for you.
Thank you, madame.
Wait, the
You're
French
welcome.
knot? Oh, it's the
Stat.
eye.
Yeah. So I think it's a total of 5 different embroidery stitches.
So, and black is split.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
You can lick it, just as long as you thread it for me.
I can thread it without licking. I can just
Oh.
look at it.
You're a magician.
No, I
I
can't.
have to lick it every time.
Why is this not pulling out? Why?
What is it?
I don't know. I just I have my stitch here.
So for if something happens and you don't catch your thread before
there we
it goes over onto the right hand side, you can just kind of come back and pull it and give it some slack, and then you can come in the center and catch it again. Okay?
I was on a roll and now I'm lost. Hold on.
You're not lost.
Well, so you go down. Oh my gosh, I was so on top of it. Okay, so you go down, but then you come up on the left side. Go down
Over
on
to the right.
Over to the right. Okay, then that's your loop.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And for the very end of the stem, you just do one loop and you don't do the little side pieces. Okay?
Any trick to getting all 6 pieces of thread in the needle?
So if this is something that you really become interested in, they make things called needle threaders.
Yeah.
And it's like a little piece of plastic almost, and then it has like a wire that loops around, and you stick that through the eye of the needle, and it opens up for you to put your thread through, and you can pull it through. It makes it a little bit easier. Sometimes I have a really hard time threading my needle. Sometimes, you know, it's a little bit easier. These needles that they sent are specifically embroidery needles, so the eye is a little bit bigger. If you were to get into like beading or something like that, the eyes can get really, really small, and it does get difficult.
One thing that I found, not to jump in, Lauren, but if you cut, like rather than using like what's given to you as the ends, like if you cut it with some nice scissors, like cut off the end that you're going to thread the needle with, and put a little bit of water or saliva. If all of those 6 very skinny threads are at the same length, you can get them down fairly easy. But what Lauren mentioned, those needle threaders are great as well, and they're super cheap.
Yeah, it always helps. Anytime I'm struggling, I'll cut a fresh, crisp end.
Yeah,
it does help a lot.
does
Yeah.
help a lot. Yeah.
So
With good scissors.
Yes.
The scissors that we're using tonight are the worst scissors.
Yeah, so
that I've ever seen in my whole life.
We're blaming it on these elementary.
Lacey and Talia are using these little guys.
And I think they have glue on them or something.
A box cutter would be better.
I'm using fabric scissors, but
like a professional.
It doesn't, you know.
That's fine.
I'm gonna rub it off of into the table next time.
I found those in the junk drawer, so we're lucky to cut anything.
We can get the kitties down here to chaw on it.
Fingernail clippers work well too.
Do they?
You
Say
said that.
what?
I've used that to cut off tags or cut off loose threads on clothes.
Not for embroidery, not crafting.
Oh, what's really cool is that now that you have this needle, if you know sweater season is upon us, and if you are like me and you have cats and they catch your sweater and they put a run in your sweater,
Okay, that's
you can kind of grab the run and loop it through the eye of the needle and then push it down through the sweater and knot it on the inside of the sweater, and it completely hides the run. A little fun bonus trivia for you.
She fixed my sweater just the other day.
I did.
Until I made me come through the woods.
No, we got stuck on. What did it get stuck on?
Oh, Bromley's line.
Yeah,
that was so tragic. New sweater snag.
Okay, I'm gonna finish this little green leafy guy, and then I'm gonna show you guys the French knot. So I'm gonna need you to do the same thing, just like with the other two stitches, where I'm gonna ask everybody to take a little break, and I'm gonna show you how to do the French knot. And any of these stitches, you know, when I am looking for inspiration or looking for help on learning new things, I'll go on YouTube and you can look at those videos. So if you look up, you know, French knots, how to do a French knot, how to do a lazy daisy, they have videos on there as well. And sometimes it helps to have a different, you know, perspective on someone introducing how to do these stitches. So that's always a really good resource as well.
And it's fun to make samplers. Like if you have like just a piece of cloth and you want to just practice a stitch, you can just do a sampler too, which is fun.
I've embroidered on some pillowcases that I had around the house. I've done it on dish towels. I added a little embroidery piece to Lacey's denim jacket.
Yay. Because I couldn't do it.
It gets, so I mean, anything pretty much. I did a piece where I embroidered on a piece of tulle. I've done felt before, and I've also embroidered on fleece. It just kind of takes a little trial and error and some patience, but it can get really fun.
So we have about 15 minutes left. Does anyone have any questions at this point before Lauren does the French knot? Are we all good to go?
Good, thumbs up, thank you.
Awesome, great, thank you, yeah.
Oh, I jammed myself with my needle. It's not fun.
I'm glad I'm not alone. I've just been stabbing myself the whole time.
Okay.
That looks good, Lacey.
Thanks. This looks like seaweed, but I like it.
But the flower looks good.
Which one?
Don't pull on it, just to let you know.
Which one?
The pinwheel.
Yeah, I try not
pull
to.
it.
It's a
That's what I
metaphor for
did.
life, really. Some stitches need to be tight, some
Don't
need to
force
be
it.
loose. Don't
Yeah,
force
don't
it.
force it. Exactly.
Okay.
That's a good.
What is this?
So here's a crash course in French knots. And again, like I said, lots of patience, lots of grace with yourself.
Do you want like a fresh new thing, or are you good?
No, this is good.
Awesome.
And worst case scenario, if you do this and it doesn't work out for you, just cut it off and start again, okay? So I'll try to get this a little bit closer, make sure everybody can see what's going on. I'll try not to knock the phone too many times.
But you didn't use, the French knot wasn't used in this, it was just.
We haven't done the French knot yet.
Yeah. So,
Right.
Oh, okay. So it was just something, yeah. So that is really cute stitch.
It's just
off of the eye.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's just a little, just to get a little pizzazz. I'm just dotting the eye essentially. So I picked up my black thread, and again the black thread we split in half, so it's only 3 strands. Okay. So if everybody's watching, I'm going to show you the French knot real quick, and then I'll show you another one on Talia's hoop. Okay. So right where that little dot is, I'm going to bring my needle up and pull my thread all the way through. So this, it's really kind of tricky, okay? Make sure everybody can see. I'm pulling this string nice and taut so you can see the tension on my material, and you can see it on my thread, okay?
So with it nice and taut, I'm taking my needle and looping it 1, 2, 3, and I still have this tension, right? If you can see, trying to get my fingers out of the way. With those loops, I'm pointing my needle right back in that same hole, and I'm keeping it taut, pulling those little loops down to the material, and I'm scooting my needle. Make sure you keep that tension, because the second you lose that tension, you're gonna lose your little loops, and I'm just pulling this all the way through until I have a little baby knot.
Aww. Is that almost the same way that you're making the knot?
It is,
on,
yeah.
on the, so do you need 3 and a
Basically it's
next?
Yeah. And I'll show you guys one more time. Same way I've done everything else since I started it just like this. I just flip it over and knot it on the back, and that little baby stitch is done. So in a lot of hoops, will you go grab your the Light and Me?
Where is it?
Embroidery hoop is on your wall in the hallway.
Yeah.
I'll show you a little instance where I use this little French knot as a filler, just for the design. And it makes it gets fun. I'll just hand this to you.
Sounds good. I'll put that there.
Thank you, ma'am.
You are welcome. I love the French knot. It's
I do too.
so cute.
I have her hoops everywhere.
Oh yeah, so look, this is, I made this little Wi-Fi hoop for Lacey. This is a big pinwheel. I think this was maybe 7 prongs or something like this. This is a little variation I did of the Lazy Daisy stitch. This is that same closed fly stitch. I've got some more pinwheels up here, some Lazy Daisies. And then you can see these little dots. Those are the French knots that I was talking about. Here's another instance where this one is French knot crazy. So you can see all the little knots that just jump off the fabric, and it really helps give it some depth and dimension.
That's cute. What does that say?
The light in me sees the light in you.
Aww.
Okay, so I'll show you guys the French knot one more time. Get this little sucker in here.
Oh,
You stab yourself in the face?
no, it just went straight.
Oh my goodness.
It could have. It just went straight through.
We should have included a first aid kit, because apparently it's real dangerous.
Or like safety glasses.
Yeah. Okay. I've got my black thread, only 3 strands. I've got my knot at the end. Okay. Get this little guy over here. I'm coming up right where that dot is, pulling all the way through. I'm going to keep this nice and taut. Okay. Get this out of the way. I'm just holding on to this where we just came through. And I'm gonna put my needle, loop it 1, 2, 3.
How close are you to the canvas or
I'm pretty close.
Okay.
I'm just enough to where I can loop my needle through and not catch the material.
Gotcha.
So I'm just turning this up, putting it right back where I came up. And I'm making sure I'm holding onto my thread, pushing my needle all the way through and pulling it until I get this little knot. Whoop.
Oh, what if my knot comes early?
Then you didn't hold your tension. Best case scenario, if you pull it all the way through, then you can just put it back through and start again.
Right.
Okay, so I think I'm missing a step here. So I come back up through, and then I'm holding it.
Where are you? Is this connected here?
Okay. It's past. This is present.
Okay, so you have to use 2 hands for this part. So
I'm holding it.
You're holding this with this hand. With this hand, you need to hold on to this and keep your tension.
Okay.
And then in between this finger and your fabric, that's where you're looping your pen.
Right. Okay. So like this.
Wrap it.
And then 1. Nope.
What do I need to? What do you like?
That's mine. This is mine.
Oh, and I still have to needle.
Thank you.
Wait.
1.
Think I go.
Okay.
And I've done pieces where I've done 1 loop. I've done pieces where I've done 3 loops, 5 loops, and it just changes the size of your French knot.
2, 3, and then
keep it taut, and then you put your needle, the point of your needle back in that same hole. Yep, just like that. Push through. You have to hold on to your, keep your tension.
Well, I'm hopeless. What? I just don't.
Okay, so we have less than 10 minutes. Does anyone have any questions? We would like to get a picture of everyone, what they've done so far. Please do not feel like you've had to finish. I got this far. I did not get very, but I'm going to go back and watch Lauren's video so I could sit at home and kind of reflect on it. But does anyone have any questions towards the end? Because we are ending in about 8 minutes. I just want to see, raise your hand, or you can actually unmute, I guess, at this point.
Yeah.
Totally.
You can unmute, definitely, or send us a question. Yeah, let us know.
Did you have some books you were going to show us? You mentioned.
Yes.
Very good.
Where are they?
I think it's upstairs in my room.
You want me to go grab it?
I can go get it. I have
Okay.
a canvas wheel. Facebook.
I think the stitch with the green thread is my favorite.
Me too.
I love
yeah,
that
is
stitch.
so, isn't that great that you can pull it to make that shape? It's like missing a step. How are you doing,
It's like
Loretta?
so cool. I love it.
How are you doing, Loretta? It's good to see you.
Good seeing you.
It's good to see everybody else too. Hey, Kim. Hey, Melanie. Hey, Sherry. It's good. Oh, so many great people.
So Lacey, you're out of your white.
I know. Yeah. After COVID hit. What is that?
I don't know. I don't live here.
Okay. It's not mine.
Okay.
Yeah. After COVID hit and I stayed home, I was like, I need to stop doing this.
Did you get to have your show downtown in August at all?
Yes, I did actually. We didn't know it was happening until the day of, but I ended up making some really different work, so I'm very happy about that.
Well, I'm sorry I missed it. I kind of watched the paper to see, but I guess I missed it.
Well,
really?
there
Yeah.
if you Google my name,
Yeah, we were like, what's that?
and the
Really
Roanoke
is.
Times, there is
It's
an
weird.
article about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So Mike Allen did a beautiful job and wrote a very nice article about the show.
Sorry.
Okay.
That
My
that
phone-
noise was her phone called 911.
Why?
Yeah,
Because-
I don't know.
Because they watched us embroider.
All right. Lauren's back.
Did I
Yeah,
lose
Lauren's
my-
back. Isn't that weird?
Hello. I'm so sorry. Everything is fine. My phone, it did the SOS on the side. I'm so sorry. Sure. My name's Lauren Browning. We are currently, if you want to mute that so nobody
Yeah.
hears
Give
your
me a
address.
sec.
Okay, bye-bye.
We accidentally dialed 911.
The side of the phone.
Yeah,
does it?
so if you are an iOS user and where I had it in the clamp, it did the SOS and called 911. So
That's fine.
all right. So I can't, yeah, I lost my Zoom call on my cell phone. If you can see this, it's called the Embroidery Stitch Bible. It's a really nice hardback book.
You want
I
me to do
just
it?
keep
I
it
can
in
do
my
it.
bag
Yeah.
with me whenever I do, when I carry stuff around, and in it, there's so many, like satin stitch variation. There
says
is
privately.
tent stitch. Oh, I sent all that stuff private. Can you do to everyone? This is little eyelets.
Everyone.
There are these things, if you think French knots are hard, they have an introduction to something called the bouillon stitch.
Oh, wow.
It is so difficult, and I have a really hard time. You're still in private. You do this down, yeah, and hit everyone. There you
Sorry.
go. It's okay.
Sorry about that.
This has been eventful, y'all. We called 911.
Oh gosh.
And Curator Off Duty.
This is proof that everyone has difficulties with technology.
2020 is
Woohoo! We're getting better at this, and we hope that we see you at our other ones. We will be doing these throughout.
We don't know what a screenshot is on Max.
so.
The shortcut for screenshots.
This shows right here
for our picture.
the closed fly stitch, and then it does a variation over here called the double feather stitch.
This is the embroidery Bible.
So these embroidery stitch Bibles, you can find them on Amazon. You can find them at a bookstore. I think it's really great, and it's a pretty good sized book, so it has a ton of different stitches. Hi, Mike Cheney. Hi, Jacob.
What did you want me to look up, sweetheart? Or
shortcut?
How to do a
or
screenshot.
Okay, gotcha.
I bet Tara can tell us. Tara, do you know how to do a screenshot on a Mac? The keyboard shortcut.
What's the shortcut?
It's Command-Shift.
Tara, you're muted. We lost you after Command-Shift.
You hear me?
Yeah.
So it's Command-Shift-4, and you'll get like a little plus sign where your mouse is. So you'll just have to like put it up in the top corner and then click your mouse pad and drag it. So you'll see a box create for.
Got it.
Make it bigger.
Perfect.
Can you make the screen bigger so we can get everything?
Yeah, so can everyone hold their hoop up? Oh, those are awesome.
Can you hold up? Can you make the whole screen on the computer bigger so it takes over the whole shebang? Yeah. Awesome. That's so cool.
No, I can't.
Lindsay's got our wine. Perfect.
See.
Tara, I might need you to do a screenshot as a backup because we're having issues.
There we go. All right, everyone hold them up.
Smile.
1, 2, 3. Woo!
Yay!
Awesome.
So we're right almost at about 9 o'clock, and before Lacey and Talia finish up, I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining to learn some introductory embroidery stitches. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and sticking with us through our technical difficulties and through me dialing 911 accidentally. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Lacey, Talia. I hope we can do this again, and thank you guys so much for joining me.
Yeah, take care.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Everyone have a great
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
It was
Thank you.
fun.
Cheers. Bye. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Bye. We're staying on.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Kim. Bye, Kim.
Bye. Bye. Last one standing.
Bye, Emily. Love you.
Bye, Lauren.
Okay. Boop.
Hey everybody, it's Lauren. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you guys so much for attending our first ever Stitch and Sip. And I wanted to provide you with a little bonus video on finishing the hoop. So, this is a piece that I'm working on right now. And these are some different stitches that I can introduce you guys to briefly. Just the satin stitch, and this is called the stem stitch. So, hopefully we can do another Stitch and Sip in the future and explore even more beginner stitches. But I just wanted to take a moment to show you guys, once you've got all your practice done and you finished your hoop, if you want to finish the back so that you can hang your hoop and display it so that it looks like, a finished piece and it can go on the wall, I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. So I've got my thread, I split it, it's just 3 strands. I don't think it necessarily matters how many strands you use. I find that when I use the full 6, it's a little bit harder for me to weave everything and pull it, so I usually just like to split my thread. It makes it a little bit easier and it saves me some material. So I put everything through my needle and I've got my knot at the end. I'm just using some leftover thread that I had from the kit. This is an obscene amount. You don't need this much to finish the back. You basically just want to kind of eyeball and make sure that the thread fits around the circumference of the hoop. So typically what I like to do is I'll come in and trim a little bit all the way around,
just so there's not all this excess like fabric. It'll make it a little like bulky and it doesn't fit up on the wall as easily. So I'll usually trim this. You want to leave at least 1 inch all the way around. I'm not going to cut this one because I'm still stitching on it, but I wanted to give you guys a good idea of how easy this is to do. There are a couple of different methods. When I first started embroidering, I would cut all the way around and I would snip little notches, and then I would put hot glue around my wheel or my hoop, and then I would just take that little tab and stick it to the hot glue. That works. It's a little messy. I got really tired of burning my fingerprints off. So, you know, I kind of like this method and prefer it to the hot glue, especially if I want to change the hoop, or if I want to paint the hoop or decorate it or anything like that, or if I need to take these off to store them. I think this method is a lot better, and it ends up, you know, it's pretty clean and everything lays flat. So I'm just going to do something called a running stitch. So I'm just coming in, if you think about it, it's going to pull over like this. So technically I'm coming in from the bottom of the fabric, and I'll come all the way up with my thread. And then you're just doing kind of like a tight, like weaving kind of stitch where you're just coming up and down. It doesn't really need to look pretty. You just want to get a couple in, kind of push this forward, and then you pull it. My hands, you know, put lotion on my hands this morning. Didn't really think that through, but it's okay. We're making it through. And you're going to do this stitch pretty much just all the way around your hoop. But when you pull your needle all the way through, you want to make sure that you're pulling it pretty taut to get that tension nice and tight. Okay? And then you do that, like I said, all the way around. So I'm literally just taking my needle up and down, and I'm just pulling it tighter as I go along to make sure that the tension's correct. And then when I get all the way around, I'm just finishing it with a little knot, just like I did during the workshop. And then you can take your little finished piece and you can hang it up on your wall. And I'll show you just something kind of quick, my messy workspace, how I've been hanging up some hoops. So there you go. That's it. Hope everyone has a good day, and thank you so much again for joining us for the first Stitch and Sip.